welcome to my video tutorial on how I made these custom VHS tapes. They are something that I usually take to K-pop cup sleeve pop-up events, but they're pretty fun to make, and really you can use this tutorial to make any digital file video that you're wanting to put onto a VHS tape, kind of going backwards into analog. So the first thing we need to do is pick out an actual tape. I like to go to thrift stores and just look at what I can find. There's so many places, old antique shops that have tapes for you. But the main thing is if you're wanting to do something like a specific color, I like to do that for a lot of mine. There's a specific list that you can refer to that I will link below that I found on Reddit that has a full library of different colored tapes that you can look at. But once you have your actual tape, you'll see here I got a Bob the Builder one. Also note the time that you have is limited if you are purchasing an already made tape like a film. That one was really short. So you'll see here I'm getting all of my supplies. Basically just need paper, scissors, tape, and you're going to cover that little hole there. That'll allow you to record over anything that is on the original tape, which is what we want. If you have access to just blank VHS tapes, you can buy them in packs still, probably on eBay. Then you don't have to do this step, but if you're purchasing a tape that you bought at a thrift store that you're just recording over, this is how you have to do it. Put the tape on the paper that you just covered with the hole, just like so. And then your VCR should allow you to record over it. Now is the point in which we would download the videos that we are wanting to put onto the tape. So usually I go to YouTube and I compile whatever videos I am needing into a playlist, and then I use something called Clip Grab, which I can also put in the description, where you can download YouTube videos. And after you've opened it and you've opened the video, you'll just take the URL of the video that you're wanting to download, and then you'll put it into the Clip Grab program, where it'll find it, figure out the information. You'll click grab this clip, and then after you do that, you will select where you would like to download it to. Usually I make a new folder and call it videos, if you're wanting to organize things, and then it should immediately start downloading, and it doesn't take very long. This video was on my old laptop, which took forever, and it still didn't take long. And then you'll see, now you'll have it downloaded. From here on out, I use Adobe Premiere Pro, which I'm not going to explain the entire ins and out of, but you'll basically take those videos that you downloaded and import them under File and then Import, and then we'll drag them into the timeline where we're wanting to put our certain clips into. This is pretty much the editing process in which I check if like any endings to clips don't quite end well, then I can edit out or cross dissolve into the next clip. That way it'll just look a lot more seamless. As I said before, I'm going to try not to get into too much detail on how to work Premiere, but I did want to show how to add subtitles to a clip that you've downloaded and are now editing. We'll see here in the clips we've got, they are speaking Korean, and we would like subtitles to that since we don't know what they are saying. So the first thing you're going to need to do in order to get subtitles is go back to the video that you were editing on YouTube and you'll go to settings and open transcript, and you'll see there's timestamps for all of the captions that they are saying in the actual video. Make sure you have it to the language that you need it set at, and see it runs concurrent with the video as they do on YouTube. And so this is what we want in Premiere. So the next thing that I did is I copied the link to the video that I'm needing the subtitles to, and then I literally Googled just YouTube transcript downloader and came up with this website, savesubs.com. I can link it, but it's a little sus. You're gonna look for the English and then the SRT file, and then go back into Premiere and then import that SRT file that we just downloaded. Once we've imported those new subtitles, we'll put it into our sequence. You'll see it's its own little thing that you can move around. And not only that, but you can also adjust it quite a lot with Premiere. And in this, I'm going to try and make them look as close as possible to the original text that is on the screen. I'm also just double checking here that the time matches up with the subtitles from the original video. You'll probably have to mess around with it a lot to make sure that it's fully lined up with the right timestamps. And here you can see all of our settings for the text, the color, the border, the width, all of that, background color if you need any. I'm going to turn that off for this one so that way it meshes more with the video. And the way to turn that off is just to turn the opacity all the way down, so now we don't have a background. And I also noticed there's a black border around the subtitles, so I'm going to add that, make sure the opacity is all the way up. And then the text color, I'm going to use the eyedropper tool in order to get the same exact yellow color that is in the original video. Obviously all of this is very optional, but I just thought it would look the nicest once I'm putting it on the actual VHS tape. It looks like it actually was in the original footage and that it belongs. And now I can understand the original video. And I basically repeat this process for every other clip that I include that has any talking that's not in English. And then just as a tip, if you're wanting to move all of them, you have to select all of the subtitles and then make your adjustments. And like in this clip, I just wanted to cover the original subtitles so that way they're not showing up and the new ones are the only ones that I'm seeing in the screen. So now we've downloaded and compiled all of our videos, and now the magic can finally happen of how we are going to put it onto an actual VHS tape. And the very first thing is that you need to buy this adapter, an HDMI to AV adapter, so that way the footage that you are capturing can go onto either your VCR or your VHS player. In my case, I have a small TV, CRTV. But to get started, the way that we need to use this, we have a lot of cords here. So this one is just the power, because this adapter needs a power source in order to actually work, which is kind of dumb. I know it's a mess down there. But it has a USB, so just have to get some brick that has a USB port that you can plug it into. And then there's the HDMI, which you are going to want to run from whatever is creating the visuals. We are using Austin's PC, and you have to pay attention to where you're plugging the HDMI because it has to be going out, not in. It can't be an input, it has to be an output. Which is why this says input here. I made the mistake of purchasing the wrong adapter the first time. It was AV to HDMI the first time, but you want HDMI to AV. And then, so this is the output, which you will then need to put in the input on the actual VCR or tiny television like what I have, which is a combination of both. The TV is acting as the extended screen right now. Okay, so now we will go through how to put it on the tape. Alright, so once you have your video completely ready to go, ready to record, you'll see that I have it ready to go with the media player. It's still got my mouse on there, but that should go away. Get a blank tape, or like I said in the previous part, you can find a tape and record over it. I already have one that's blank ready to go here that I made a custom case for. Okay, and then we'll put it in and see that part is covered, which is what I showed how to cover it before so that you could record over it. If you don't want to ever lose this and re-record over it, you punch that out. So the last thing we need to do is just hit record on the tape, but first we're going to hit play on whatever footage it is that you're wanting to put onto the tape. I add 10 seconds of just blackness, so that way when recording it has like a chance to like boot up and everything. And then I have a little intro that also repeats just so it can give it some extra time. And you want to be sure that your audio is coming out of the VCR TV, because otherwise it's not going to record the audio. So it's coming out of the TV, and you can do that in the computer settings. And now it should be recording, and you just have to wait here until it's done. And that concludes my video on how I make my custom VHS tapes. Not exactly a tutorial, but if you're able to follow along, then go for it. Obviously I do make my own cases as well, but that will probably have to be another video. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope that helped teach how to make your own custom tapes to take to events, or even enjoy them at home.